Australia can get to net zero, but it's going to be much more difficult if we don't have a more circular economy.
The circular economy is an economic model where we keep our resources and materials as long as possible in our economic system. At MSDI, we approach these kind of questions about what a circular economy is or any other transitions often from a systems perspective. And there are essentially four aspects that are important. So first of all, obviously, there's science, technology, and innovation, which is important to help us develop the technologies. There's also other things, including regulations and institutional reform. So this is really important because we need to have the right incentives for businesses and other organizations to make the decisions that help us achieve a circular economy. That gets me to the third aspect, which is really about finding new business models. In many cases, the circular economy means we need collaboration across sectors between organizations that have never collaborated. And then the last aspect is really on behavior and consumption patterns and user practices. And that means we really have to start thinking about what the implications are for our consumption and user practices.
In order to create a successful circular economy, we are going to need systems change. It's not happening now. We need financial incentives, both direct incentives, but also market incentives. And we need leadership from government to show that that is the direction that the economy is going to be going. I'm really pleased that I've been asked to be the chair of the Circular Economy Ministerial Advisory Group for Tanya Plibersek, the Environment Minister. And that gives me a seat at the table to help influence government with these decisions. But at Monash, and particularly Monash Sustainable Development Institute, we've got the tools to really help drive the circular economy. We're experts in behaviour change and system change. And we're going to bring together those experts to provide some of the levers that are going to be needed if government and business are going to achieve this big transformation.
I think the thing that's exciting about circular economy is that it really is focusing on what our businesses can do to actually improve how we relate with the earth while pushing forward the economy. So no matter what change you want to create, you actually need people to create that change and also to adopt it ongoing. And so behaviour change tools can help with any problem and challenge, including big transitions like the circular economy.
So I have a focus on circular economy textiles because I see it as a pathway, a critical pathway to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, and namely SDG 12, which is about balancing our production and consumption. I think it's a really interesting sector to take a look at because it affects everyone's life and it's a big part of our economy, and we have pathways to make it more sustainable and more responsible. So in 2023, we really focused on sharing knowledge that we had accumulated over the 5 years of research that we'd undertaken. And we learned early on in that research that industry and policymakers needed a lot more information about the complexity and opportunity to transition to sustainable futures in textiles. We had the inaugural Climate Fund from Country Road, which is really a leadership initiative as far as industry funding sustainable startups. And I was invited to be a committee member as far as the circular economy pillar as part of that program. These kinds of initiatives are quite exciting and I think really important for us to be a part of.
In 2023, we more or less finished off a 3-year research project funded by the Australian Research Council. And so in this project, we did a couple of things. We ran a national survey around low waste living in households. We also reviewed policy documents in terms of how households are conceived in policy and what sort of roles are assumed in that for households. And then we also co-designed experiments with low waste living together with households. Current systems that we have in place, whether that's infrastructures or policy frameworks or institutions, they're not really helping us live a low waste life. On the contrary, it's actually easier to live a high waste life. And then what we also found is that these people are very committed to it, to live a low waste life, and they're actually able to articulate really good policy recommendations and changes in infrastructure that are needed to make low waste living a lot easier. And so we really think that the findings from this research project is the first step in then developing new ways of really engaging with this, let's say, everyday mundane experience of living a low waste life so that policies are better fit for that purpose.
The behavioural roadmap to circular consumption is the culmination of 3 years of research, identifying all of the changes that we need to see for a circular economy. So we've found 130 different behaviours across a number of actors, but we've actually explored the links between those behaviours. So who can influence who and who can enable who. And understanding that actually helps us determine what different parts of the system can do. The exciting thing with behaviour works is that we're actually looking to connect traditional behavioural science tools with broader systems thinking to make those bigger transitions possible.
So we were looking for 3 transformative changes and outcomes. So the first one really is about systems change. And this is about far-reaching changes in our systems and in our infrastructures and institutions that will make low-waste living a lot easier. The second one is a change of direction of our economic systems. At the moment, you could say our economic systems really prioritizes often technological and economic outcomes. And we need to reevaluate whether and how we're going to prioritize social and environmental outcomes as well. And then the third one is what I call empowerment. So empowerment really is about ensuring that all the different and diverse voices in our society are able to be included in policymaking and set the direction of our economy.
We identified the circular economy as one of our new flagship areas. So I think what we've done last year is a really good basis for what is going to be a big step forward on the circular economy in 2024.